Chapter 4, The IPO Markets, Part 1, 4.1 Overview. The initial three chapters has set the background on some of the basic market concepts that you need to know. At this stage, it becomes imperative to address a very basic question: why do companies go public? A good understanding of this topic lays down a sound foundation for all future topics. We learn new financial concepts during the course of this chapter. In the previous chapters, we have discussed that the merchant bankers helps the companies to raise money, right? They helps in the process of the IPOs. Merchant companies helps in the process of IPOs for the companies. 4.2, The origin of a business. Before we jump ahead to seek an answer as to why companies go public, let us spend some time figuring out a more basic concept: the origins of a typical business. To understand this concept better, we will build a tangible story around it. Let us split the story into several scenes just so that we get a clear understanding of how the understanding several scenes just so that we get a clear understanding of how the business and funding environment evolves. Scene 1, The Angels. Let us imagine a budding entrepreneur with a brilliant business idea to manufacture highly fashionable organic cotton t-shirts. The designs are unique, has attractive price points, and the best quality cotton is used to make these t-shirts. He is confident that the business will be successful and is all enthusiastic to launch the idea into a business. As a typical entrepreneur, he is likely to be hit by the typical problem: where could he get the money to fund the idea? Assuming the entrepreneur has no business background, he will not attract any serious investor at the initial stage. Chances are he would approach his family and friends to pitch the idea and raise some money. He could approach the bank for a loan as well, but this would not be the best option. Let us assume that he pulls in his own money and also convinces two of his good friends to invest in his business. Because these two friends are investing at the pre-revenue stage, taking a blind bet on the entrepreneur, they would be the angel investors. Please note, the money from the angels is not a loan. It is actually an investment made by them. So let us imagine that the promoter along with the angels raise INR 5 crore in capital. This money, this initial money that he gets to kickstart his business is called the seed fund. It is important to note that the seed fund will not sit in the entrepreneur's, also called the promoter, personal bank account, but instead sits in the company's bank account. Once the seed capital hits the company's bank account, the money will be referred to as the initial share capital of the company. In return of the initial seed investment, the original three, that is promoter plus two angels, will be issued share certificates of the company, which entitles them an ownership in the company. The only asset that the company has at this stage is cash of INR 5 crores. Hence, the value of the company is also 5 crores. This is called the company's valuation. Issuing shares is quite simple. The company assumes that each share is worth rupees 10, and because there is rupees 5 crore as share capital, there has to be 50 lakh shares with each share worth rupees 10. In this context, rupees 10 is called the face value of the share. The face value could be any number. If the face value is rupees 5, then the number of shares would be 1 crore, so on and so forth. The total of 50 lakh shares is called the authorized shares of the company. These shares have to be allotted amongst the promoter and two angels, plus the company has to retain some amount of shares with itself to be issued in the future. So let us assume the promoter retains 40% of the shares and the two angels get 5% each, and the company retains 50% of the shares. Since the promoter and the two angels own 50% of the shares, this allotted portion is called issued shares. Table 4.1 will shows the initial shareholding pattern. Serial number, name of shareholder, name of number of shares, percentage of holdings. Serial number 1, promoter has 2 million shares, that is 40% of holding, and 2 angel 1 has 250,000 shares, that is 5% of holding, and 3 angel 2 has 250,000 shares, that is 5% holding. Total 2,500,000 shares, that is 50% holding with the promoter and two angels. The shareholding pattern of this company would look something like this. Please note that the balance 50% of the shares totaling 2,500,000 equity shares are retained by the company. These shares are authorized but not allotted. These are authorized but not allotted till now. Backed by a good company structure and healthy seed fund, the promoter kick-starts his business operations. He wants to move cautiously, hence he decides to open just one small manufacturing unit and one store to retail his product. The scene 2, the venture capitalist. His hard work pays off and the business starts to pick up. At the end of the first 2 years of operations, the company starts to break even. The promoter is now no longer a rookie business owner. Instead, he is more knowledgeable about his own business and, of course, more confident. Backed by his confidence, the promoter now wants to expand his business by adding one more manufacturing unit and a few additional retail stores in the city. He chalks out the plan and figures out that the first investment needed for this business expansion is INR 7 crores. He is now in a better situation when compared to where he was 2 years ago. The big difference is the fact that his business is generating revenues. Healthy inflow of revenue validates the business and its offerings. He is now in a situation where he can access reasonably savvy investors for investing in his business. Let us assume he meets one such professional investor who agrees to give him 7 crores for a 14% stake in his company. 14% share in his company. The investor who typically invests in such early stage of business is called a venture capitalist VC, and the money that the business gets at this stage is called Series A funding. The After the company agrees to allot 14% to the venture capitalist from the authorized capital, the shareholding pattern looks like this. Table 2. Second stage, shareholding pattern. Serial number, number of serial number, name of shareholder, name, number of shares, percentage of holding. Serial number 1, promoter has 2 million shares, percentage of holding 40%, and 2. Angel 1 has 250,000 shares, that is 5% holding, and Angel 2 has 250,000 shares, that is 5% holding, and venture capitalist has 700,000 shares, that is percentage of holding is 14%. Total 3,200,000 shares, that is 64% of holding. Note the balance 36% of the shares is still retained within the company and has not been issued. They are not still issued or allotted. Now with the there are 36% of the company shares within it. It is not issued or allotted to anyone. Now with the venture capitalists' money coming into the business, a very interesting development has taken place. The venture capitalist is valuing the entire business at capitalist is valuing the entire business at INR 50 crores by valuing his 14% by valuing his 14% stake in the company at INR 7 crores. With the initial valuation of 5 crores, there is a tenfold increase in the company's valuation. This is what a good business plan, validated by a healthy revenue stream, can do to a businesses. It works as a perfect recipe for wealth creation. With the valuations going up, the investments made by the initial investors will have an impact. With the valuations going up, the investments made by the initial investors will have an impact. The following table summarizes the same. Table 4.3. The third stage shareholding pattern and promoter. Initial shareholding is 40% and initial valuation is 2 crores. Shareholding after 2 years is 40% and valuation after 2 years is 20 crores and wealth created is 10 times. Angel 1. Initial shareholding is 5%. Initial valuation is 25 lakhs. Shareholding after 2 years 5%. Valuation after 2 years 2.5 crores and wealth created is 10 times. Angel 2. Initial shareholding is 5%. Initial valuation is 25 lakhs. Shareholding after 2 years is 5%. Valuation after 2 years is 2.5 crores. Wealth created is 10 times. Venture capitalist. Initial shareholding is 0%. Initial valuation is NA. and the shareholding after 2 years is 14%. Valuation after 2 years is 7 crores. Wealth created is none of the above. Total is initial shareholding is 50%. Initial valuation 2.5 crores. Shareholding after 2 years is 64%, and valuation after 2 years is 32 crores. Going forward with our story, the promoter now has the additional capital he requires for the business. The company gets an additional manufacturing unit and few more retail outlets in the city as planned. Things are going great. Popularity of the product grows, translating into higher revenues. Management team gets more professional Management team gets more professional, thereby increasing the operational efficiency, and all this translates to better profits. Scene 3. The banker. Scene 3. The banker. Three more, three more years pass by, and the company is phenomenally successful. The company decides to have a retail presence in at least three more cities. To back the retail presence across the three cities, the company also plans to increase the production capacity and hire more resources. Whenever a company plans such expenditure to improve the overall business, the expenditure is called capital expenditure or simply capex. The management estimates 40 crores towards their capital expenditure requirements. How does the company gets this money, or in other words, how the company fund its capex requirements? There are few options with the company to raise the required funds for their capex. 1. The company has made some profits over the last few years, say 5 years. In this case, a part of the capex requirement can be funded through the profits. This is also called funding through internal accruals. And 2. The company can approach another VC, venture capitalist, and raise another round of VC funding by allotting shares from the authorized capital. This is called Series B funding. And 3. The company can approach a bank and seek a loan. The bank would be happy to tender this loan as the company has been doing fairly well. The loan is also called debt. The company decides to exercise all the three options at its disposal to raise the funds for capital expenditure. It plows 15 crores from internal accruals, plans a Series B, divests 5% equity for a consideration of 10 crores from another venture capitalist, and raise 15 crores debt, that is loan from the banker. Note: with 10 crores coming from the 5 coming with note with 10% with 10 crores coming in for 5%, the valuation of the company now stands at 200 crores. Of course, it may seem a bit exaggerated, but then the whole purpose of this story is drive across the concept. Now the shareholding and valuation looks something like this. Table 4. Fourth stage, shareholding pattern and serial number 1, name of shareholder, number of shares, percentage of holding, valuation. 1. Promoter has 2 million shares, percentage of holding 40%, valuation 80 crores. Angel 2 has 250 100,000 shares with 4 with 5% holding, valuation is 10 crores. And Angel 2 has 250 100,000 shares with 5% holding, valuation is 10 crores. And 4. Venture capitalist series A, number of shares is 700,000 shares with 14% holding, valuation is 28 crores. Now 5. Venture capitalist series B, number of shares is 250 100,000 shares with 5% of holding, valuation is 10 crores. Note the company still has 31% of the shares not allotted to shareholders, which are now being valued at 62 crores. Also, I would encourage you to think about the wealth that has been created over the years. This is exactly what happens to entrepreneurs with great business ideas and with a highly competent management team. Classic real world examples of such wealth creation stories would be Infosys, Page Industries, Eicher Motors, Titan Industries, and in the international space, one could think of Google, Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, etc. Scene 4, the private equity. Few years pass by and the company and the company's success continues to shine on. With the growing success of this 8-year-old 200 crore company, the ambitions are also growing. The company decides to raise the bar and branch out across the country. The company decides to raise the bar and branch out across the country. They also decide to diversify the company by manufacturing and retailing fashion accessories, designer cosmetics, and perfumes. The capital expenditure requirement for the new ambition is now pegged at 60 crores. The company does not want to raise money through the debt because of the interest rate burden. The company does not want to raise money through debt, that means through the banker, because of the interest rate burden, also called finance charges, which could eat away the profits the company generates. They decide to allot shares from the authorized capital for a Series C funding. They cannot approach a typical venture capitalist because venture capitalist funding is usually small and runs into few crores. This is when a private equity PE investor comes into the picture. PE investors, private equity investors, are quite savvy. They are highly qualified and have an excellent professional background. They invest large amounts of money with the objective of not only providing the capital for constructive use, but also place their own people on the board of investee company to ensure the company steers in the required direction. Assuming they pick up 15% stake for a consideration of 60 crores, they are now valuing the company at 400 crores. Let's have a quick look at the shareholding and valuations. Table 4.5 showing the fifth stage shareholding pattern. Promoter now has 2 million shares for 40% holding with 160 crores valuation, and Angel 1 has 100,000 shares for 5% holding with 20 crores valuation, and Angel 2 has 100,000 shares for 5% of holding, valuation is 20 crores, and venture capitalist series A has 700,000 shares for 14% holding, that is valuation is 56 crores, and venture capitalist B has 250,000 shares for 5% holding. Now the valuation of the company is 20 crores. Now private equity series C has 1 million shares for 15% holding, valuation is 60 crores. Now total is 4,450,000 shares for 84% holding. Now the valuation is 336 crores. Please note, the company has retained back 16% of the stake which has not been allotted to any shareholder. This portion is valued at 64 crores. Usually when a private equity invests, they invest with an objective to fund large capital expenditure requirements. Besides, they do not invest in the early stage of a business. Instead, they prefer to invest in companies that already has a revenue stream and is in operation for a few years. The process of deploying the private equity capital and utilizing the capital for capital expenditure requirements takes up a few years. Scene 5. The IPO. 5 years after the PE investment, the company has progressed really well. They have successfully diversified their products. Product portfolio. Plus, they have a presence across all the major cities in the country. Revenues are good, profitability is stable, and the investors are happy. The promoter, however, does not want settle in for just this. The promoter now aspires to go international. He wants his brand to be available across all the major international cities. He wants at least 2 outlets in each major city across the world. This means the company needs to invest in market research to understand what people like in other countries. They need to invest in people and also work towards increasing the manufacturing capacities Besides, they also need to invest into real, real estate spaces. Besides, they also need to invest into real estate space across the world. This time, the capital expenditure, that is capex requirement, is huge, and the management estimates this at 200 crores. The company has few options to fund the capital expenditure requirement. 1. Fund cap fund capex from internal accruals. 2. Raise Series D from another private equity fund. And 3. Raise debt from bankers. And 4. Float float a bond. This is another form of raising debt. And 5. File for an initial public offer. 5. File for an initial public offer IPO by allotting shares from authorized capital. And 6. A combination of all the above. For sake of convenience, let us assume the company decides to fund the capex partly through internal accruals and also file for an initial public offer, that is IPO. When a company files for an IPO, they have to offer their shares to the general public. The general public will subscribe to the shares, that is if they want to by paying a certain price. Now, because the company is offering the shares for the first time to the public, it is called initial public offer. Now because the company is offering the shares for the first time to the public, it is called the initial public offer. We are now at a very crucial juncture where a few questions needs to be answered. 1. Why did the company decide to file for an IPO? In general, why do companies go public? 2. Why did they not file for the IPO when they were in Series A, B and C situation? And 3. What would happen to the existing shareholders after the IPO? And 4. What do the general public look for before they subscribe to the IPO? And 5. How does the IPO process evolve? And 6. Who are the financial intermediaries involved in the IPO markets? And 7. What happens after the company goes public? In the following chapter, we will address each of the above questions plus more, and we will also give you more insights to the IPO market. For now, hopefully you should have developed a sense of how a successful company evolves, how a successful company evolves before they come out to the public to offer their shares. The purpose of this chapter is to just give you a sense of completeness when one thinks about an IPO. Key takeaways from this chapter. Before understanding why companies go public, it is important to understand the origin of a business. 2. The people who invest in your business in the pre-revenue stage are called angel investors. And 3. The angel investors take maximum risk. They take in as much risk as the promoter. 4. The money that angels give to start the business is called seed fund. And 5. The angels invest relatively a small amount of capital. And 6. valuation of a company simply signifies how much the company is valued at. When one values the company, they consider the company's assets and liabilities. 7. A face value is simply a denominator to indicate how much one share is originally worth. And 8. Authorized shares of the company is the total number of shares that are available with the company. 9. The shares distributed from the authorized shares are called issued shares. Issued shares are always a subset of authorized shares. 10. The shareholding pattern of a company tells us who owns how much stake in the company. And 11. The venture capitalists invest at an early stage in business. They do not take as much risk as angel investors. The quantum of investments by a venture capitalist is usually somewhere in between an angel and private equity investment. 12. The money the company spends on business expansion is called capital expenditure or capex. 13. Series A, B and C, etc. are all funding that the company seeks as they start evolving. Usually higher the series, higher is the investment required. And 14. Before a certain size, VCs cannot invest. Before a certain size, sorry, 14. Beyond a certain size, venture capitalists cannot invest, and hence the company seeking investments will have to approach private equity firms. And 15. Private equity firms invest large sums of money, and they usually invest at a slightly more mature stage of the business. And 16. In terms of risk, private equities have a lower risk appetite as compared to venture capitalists or angels. And 17. Typical private equity investors would like to deploy their own people on the board of investee company to ensure business moves in the right direction. 18. The valuation of the company increases as and when the business revenues and profitability increases. And 19. An IPO is a process by means of which a company can raise funds. The funds raised can be for any valid reason: for capex, restructuring debt, rewarding shareholders, etc.